Shall we wait for 2 more minutes? Speaker also has arrived. Once when we are ready, we can start the session. Shall we wait for 2 more minutes so that other people will also join?
సార్ అడిగి స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాము 54 ఉన్నారు స్టార్ట్ చేయండి ఇది సిస్టమ్ మాకు 5 days కానీ డే బై డే తీసేసుకోవాలనుకోవడం గూగుల్ మీట్ నుంచి ఉండదు ఉంటుంది సెషన్ స్టార్ట్ అయినప్పుడు రికార్డ్ స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి అది ఆఫ్ చేసేసి
పెట్టా ఏం కనిపిస్తుంది
ఇది కనిపిస్తుంది కొంచెం లేకపోతే నీ పీపీటీ అది ఉంది కదా చేసుకున్న దగ్గర నుంచి చేతి ఉప్పు కనిపిస్తుంది అటెండెన్స్ ఎట్లా తీసుకున్నాను స్టార్ట్ చేసామని చేయలేదు ఇంకా లేట్ చేస్తే వాళ్ళకి ఓపెన్ ఉండదు ఈ లెవెల్ వెయిట్ చేస్తారు
Okay, respected faculty, shall we start the session? The session is over to Arvind Neelakantan. He is the speaker of today's session. He is from Unity Technologies and he is product evangelist. So thanks for accepting our invitation, sir. Session is over to you. Arvind?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, Arvind.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you can start the session.
Thank you so much. All right. All right. So I will share my screen if that's okay. Okay. Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, screen is visible. Screen is visible, Arvind.
Great, okay.
Okay.
So today I'll be talking about the first steps that you can take when it comes to XR, and XR of course stands for it's a standard term that includes both augmented reality and virtual reality. Before I do that, I'd like to thank VNRG IT for inviting me over to give this talk. This is a topic that is especially close to me. So who am I? I am Arvind Nilakantan. I'm the head of creator advocacy and head of technology in the Indian subcontinent. I have been with Unity for about close to 4 years now, and I have been working in the Unity editor for over 10 years. So today, what I'll be talking about is some introduction about AR Foundation, which is a technology that is used within the Unity editor for you to create augmented reality applications. And if you're unfamiliar with Unity and the editor itself, I'll of course give a walkthrough of that also. I'll also give you an example of how you can create a very basic augmented reality application using the Unity editor. I'll also be talking about some tracking, how you can track face, images, and objects using this technology, and how you can also improve the visual quality of the object that you're going to be creating, or the app that you're going to be creating using augmented reality. And then finally, I'll also have a time for Q&A so that you can ask any questions that you have during the talk. So let's first talk about what is augmented reality. And I think the best way to talk about augmented reality is to actually show you some applications that were made using augmented reality than just talking about theory. So when you look at the games part, some of the most famous games that are using augmented reality is of course Pokemon Go. They use augmented reality, and it's where you're just pointing the phone out to any kind of location you are in the world. Another example is of course Angry Birds AR. In Angry Birds AR, you can literally point your phone on your kitchen table or wherever, and then just play a game the way that you would typically be playing Angry Birds in. But it's not only looking at games. There are also applications where it is used in media media and entertainment. So this is an excellent example where augmented reality is used to enhance your art application itself. Now, this is installed in a museum where, using augmented reality, you are able to make the art that you have created be more interactive and be more immersive, I would say, using this technology. And it's also used in when you're shopping, right? This is an example from Wayfair and from IKEA, where you can test to see how for example, how your furniture is going to be looking in your particular home itself, and you're able to place them exactly in the location that you want, and it is automatically able to check whether the size of that furniture that you're going to be buying is going to fit in your living room or not. You can also share it with your loved ones to get their opinion about whether it looks good in your location or not. It is also used heavily in automobile industry, where this is a showroom experience where you have customers looking at the insides of the car without actually opening up the car. And even if you open up the bonnet of the car, for example, you cannot see how it exactly works in an animated fashion. And using augmented reality, you're able to show your customers exactly how the insides of the car is going to be working. And you can even change the color of the car using this augmented reality application, and so that your customers can see the car before they can actually buy it. It's also used in architecture, engineering, and construction. So this is a construction site where this particular engineer is using augmented reality to check to see if the particular beam or the particular design provided by the architect is going to be working on site, or how is it going to be looking on the site before the construction can begin. It's a really good example of that. So with those examples, I think you have a pretty good understanding of how augmented reality is used across a wide variety of verticals, from games, media and entertainment, retail, automobile, architecture, engineering, construction, and a lot more. I only showed you a few examples that I thought were cool, but there are also other applications even in healthcare, for example, where augmented reality is used. So I'll be talking about how do you start using how do you start creating an augmented reality application, some of the requirements, what are the things that you need to install in order to begin this, and also some differences between workflows when it comes to iOS and Android a little bit. Okay, so when you want to start an augmented reality application, and if you want to start making an augmented reality application, you will be referred to as, of course, an augmented reality developer. And as a developer, you would need the following, which is you need the Unity editor, which you can download from unity.com website. And you can get, and depending on where you're going to be deploying the application, whether it's going to be on iOS or Android, you can get that particular platform support, which is a free plugin that you can get with the Unity editor. You also need to get the AR Foundation and AR Kit or AR Core packages, and I'll talk exactly about what they are in just a bit. And if you're planning to deploy to iOS, you would of course need a Mac OS. And if you want to test out your application, you would need an Android or iOS device to test that application that you have built. For your end users, that is the users who are going to be using the application that you have made, for them they would need Android 7.0 or higher. Any phone that supports iOS 11 or higher, if you're deploying it on the iPhone, and if you're using facial tracking or any of the newer technologies for the iPhone, then you would need iPhone X or anything newer than that. Now, what I've noticed in India is most of the people, majority of the people, have an Android device. So I'm going to particularly be walking you through how to deploy your application for an Android device. The workflow is quite similar even if you're deploying to iOS, but I'm going to stick with Android for now. So the first thing is you need to, once you download Unity, this is the first thing that you would see. You would open up the hub, and you can add a new release if you have, and today's release is 2019.3. You also have alpha versions of Unity, but you just need to have the latest version of Unity that you have. Make sure that you have the iOS and Android build support, but currently we're looking at Android. Make sure you have Android build support, and also ensure that you have the Android SDK and the OpenJDK tools installed. You have to, of course, go through the license agreement, agree to all of the licensing conditions, and you can now create a brand new project using the Unity Hub. So once it's installed, it's just installing right now. Once it's installed, it should take a few seconds, and depending on the speed of your internet connection. And once it's installed, you can now create a brand new project. So you can just create a new project, create a 3D project, I'm just going to call it AR Foundation Webinar. Just going to click on create, and that should take a few seconds for the Unity editor to open, and this is the Unity editor. Now in the Unity editor, you have a few windows, such as if you're brand new to the Unity editor, it's okay. I'm going to be walking you through that. Before we do that, go to the project settings and external tools and ensure that you have all of the JDK and Android SDK and Android NDK all installed. It should automatically be installed, but it's a good idea to ensure that you have that set up beforehand when you want to deploy it to Android application. So I'm going to go to build settings. I switch to an Android build. So now we are ready to start deploying our application to an Android device. So now with that Android build ready, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be installing the AR Foundation package. So how do I do that? Is I go to Window, I go to Package Manager, I can search for AR Foundation. So I already have that, and I can select that and click on Install. Now that will then install the AR Foundation package, and because we are also publishing to AR Core, which is the Android plugin to have augmented reality applications, I'm also going to install AR Core plugin. So I'm going to now create a new AR session origin, and I'm going to create an AR session. I don't need the main camera because the AR session origin already has an augmented reality camera in it. And in the AR session, that is the script that will ensure that your application is ready to be deployed for AR. I'm just saving the scene, going to build settings. I'm going to add the particular scene I want to be building, and I'm going to just build an empty augmented reality application for AR. Now, when I build it, there's of course errors that show up because, as I said earlier, you need to make sure that your minimum API level is Android 7 and above. There's also a problem where any device that supports Vulkan, which is one of the graphics API, that is also not supported. So I also removed Vulkan, and now I have a basic APK that I have built. Now we are ready to deploy. This is a very empty shell. This is a very empty APK that I've created, and I'm just also setting up the build settings so that I can directly deploy to my device when I'm testing it out. Okay. So with that done, moving forward, okay. So now I have an empty. I've installed the AR Foundation package, which I did. Okay. So this is the exact same process, whether you're going to be deploying to iOS or Android. It's exactly the same. You're just going to be creating an AR session using the AR Foundation APIs, which I just showed you how you did it, and then you just deploy an AR APK, and you're done. Now your application is ready to support augmented reality. Now, I really want to talk about AR Foundation a bit. So what is the difference between AR Foundation and AR Core? So Android and iOS have come up with their own SDKs when it comes to deploying augmented reality applications. Now, what AR Foundation, which is proprietary to Unity, it is a wrapper around all of the existing augmented reality solutions. So whether you're deploying to iOS, Android, Magic Leap, HoloLens, or even the Windows mixed reality headset, if you're going to be writing using the AR Foundation package, it will automatically support all of these devices that you have here. But of course, there are a lot of not a lot of feature parity that exists between all of these particular hardwares. Like for example, ARKit has probably the most support for augmented reality, while AR Core has certain things that doesn't work. For example, meshing doesn't work, or 2D and 3D body tracking doesn't work. And Magic Leap has its own, Magic Leap and HoloLens have their own ups and downs. But when you're building an application using AR Foundation, you don't need to write separate code for ARKit or separate code for AR Core. It's a one wrapper API that you would need. So let's go to the second part, which is how do you create a basic augmented reality application. I'll also be talking about some of the technology that is running behind the scenes that enables augmented reality. And we'll build a very simple AR app using plane detection and raycasting. And if you're unfamiliar with those terms, I'll be talking about it in just a bit. But first, let's look at the tech behind AR apps. So I'm going to give you an overview of the tech running almost every augmented reality application. And I believe that once you understand the basic concepts behind the AR applications, you'll be able to create better applications and understand what might not be working inside your app. The first thing is all augmented reality application uses what is called visual inertial odometry. And what this means is your camera, your phone, uses a combination of IMU sensors. And IMU sensors are a combination of accelerometer and your gyroscope, which is then combined with the color camera of your device, and it is able to understand and track the position of your camera based on what environment you're pointing the camera at. Then we have feature points. So as the gyroscope and the accelerometer along with the camera is moving through the environment, the camera is continuously analyzing the images to detect the feature points. Now, feature points, they are mostly found in edges, chiseled corners, chiseled areas and cornered shapes. anything that has a lot of patterns on top of it, it is able to identify that. But flat white surfaces or plain color surfaces will have a relatively low number of these points. So the idea is you need to have as many feature points as possible when you're creating augmented reality applications. So what is feature points? So feature points are fundamental building blocks of many augmented reality features. So a lot of advanced concepts like plane detection, image, object recognition really rely on these on feature points. And your aim is to maximize the number of these points for accurate and stable tracking when you're developing AR applications. So when you're creating a basic AR application, we'll be looking at three fundamental concepts. One is feature point detection, which I talked about earlier. The second one is plane tracking, and the last one is ray casting. So how do you visualize the point cloud? or how do you visualize your feature points? So we'll talk about that. So I'm opening the Unity editor again, and I'm just going to close that. I'm going to I already created an AR session origin. I'm going to add a component called AR Point Cloud Manager. Now this will allow me to visualize the feature points when I'm creating a new app. I'm going to create an empty object. I'm going to name it AR Point Cloud Visualizer, which makes more sense. I'm going to add a component called AR Point Cloud Particle Visualizer. Now this is going to be creating a particle system. As you can see on the right hand side, it's created a particle system for me. I'm going to remove the looping on that particle system, because I don't want to keep creating new particles. I'm going to make the size slightly smaller. Right now in Unity, one unit in Unity is 1 meter. So I'm going to make the point cloud a little smaller. I'm just going to make it 0.02. And I'm also going to change the simulation. I'm not going to change any of this. I'm going to change the scaling mode to hierarchy, so that because it's able to scale the point cloud visualizer exactly the way I want it. I'm going to remove emission and shape. I'm going to go to the renderer, and in the renderer, I'm just going to use the default material used inside Unity so that I can visualize it. So I'm going to select that. I'm just going to select the default material, the default particle material. Select that. And after I have done that, I'm going to make this into a prefab. And the way I can make it into a prefab is just literally dragging and dropping that visualizer in my project window. So I'm going to create a new folder called prefabs, drag and drop that AR foundation in AR point cloud visualizer in there. With that created, I'm just going to delete it because I have created an instance of it using the prefab. And I'm going to give the point cloud prefab as a reference to that image. And I'm going to build an app. Like I said, iOS and Android have exactly the same kind of building technique. I'm building for iOS, but it's the exact same thing for Android also. So with the Xcode project created, I'm just going to open it up, click on play. And this is now going to deploy to my iOS device. So I've switched to my iOS device. And now, as I am moving my camera around, you'll have to send some permissions around. You can see that as I'm moving my camera around, there should be, there you go, point clouds or feature points that are showing up. So there's white dots are all the feature points that I'm seeing on top of my on my camera, and is able to detect all of the feature points. And as you can see, it's able to detect places which have a lot of distinct features. Anything that is plain white, it is unable to detect that. Next, what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be, instead of using, just a quick thing, instead of using the default prefab, let me go back to my editor. So in here, while going back to my editor, in fact, I don't have to do this from scratch. In fact, if you go to XR, AR default point cloud, it actually does the same thing for me. I don't need to create everything from scratch. I just wanted to show you that because just to show you how you can create a default visualizer. So with that created, if I go back to my phone, you can see that even using the default XR point cloud visualizer, it does the same thing. But now the point cloud is just yellow color rather than being it white. And as you can see, as I'm pointing to my walls, Anything that's plain and white, it's unable to detect any feature points because it needs to have a lot of character, a lot of texture, a lot of edges to it for it to detect. So now that we have detected feature points, we are now getting to plane detection. Now, plane detection is when, using these feature points, your phone is able to detect horizontal and vertical planes. And that is very important for you to place any objects inside your scene. So let me stop Xcode and go back to the editor. Just head back to the editor. Yeah. And in my editor, I'm just going to add a new session origin. I'm just going to add a component over there. I'm going to call it AR Plane Manager, which is automatically available for you within the AR Foundation package. And I'm going to say in the detection mode, I want it to detect everything from horizontal planes and vertical planes. And how do you visualize it? I just need to create a plane prefab. So I'm just going to go to XR and I'm just going to create an AR default plane, make that into a prefab. So you can see it has an AR plane script, which is what does the magic of able to detect planes. And if you want to create your own mesh renderer, you can also do that. But I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I'm just going to make that AR default plane a prefab as I did earlier. Drag and drop it in there, and delete that, and then go back to my AR session origin and give a reference of that AR default plane prefab into my plane prefab. So with that, I'm just going to make a build. Just going to build that. And once I make a build, I'm just going back to my phone. And now, because I have feature points detected.
Sorry for the interruption, sir. Arvind, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, please do in little bit, I think, slow, sir. I think you're so fast. Because we are academician, we are not able to follow that much, sir.
Okay, no, I'm just going. Okay,
I'm talking about the practical part.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank
you. Thank you for that. So as you can see in my phone, because the feature points are being detected, it's now also able to detect planes. So it's able to, let me just show it to you in my phone again. As I'm moving my phone around, you can see that any place that has feature points, a lot of feature points, is able to detect that those are planes. So as you can see on my floor, it is automatically able to get the planes up, and on the white wall, it is unable to detect any planes, as I mentioned earlier. But I have a painting in my house, and this painting is nicely detected. This is the way you want it. In fact, the AR Foundation has a samples project which has a little bit of machine learning built into it. So this is a free project that's available, and with machine learning, it's also able to detect what is it that we are looking at. So it's able to say, hey, you're looking at a door, you're looking at the floor, you're looking at the handle. So it's also able to detect exactly what your camera is going to be looking at, and that's a pretty cool thing that you can do. It's available for free in the AR Foundation samples project, which I'll give a link to at the end of this session. Okay, so the final point is raycasting. So we have detected feature points with which it's able to detect all of the distinct features inside your environment, and using the feature points is then able to create planes so that you can place horizontal and vertical objects on top of these planes. And finally, you have raycasting. Now, the goal of raycasting is when the user is tapping on top of the screen, we are going to be sending a ray from the position of the camera, find a ray hit position, and then place our object directly there. So that's the point of raycasting. So you can think of ray as a laser pointer that you can point at your scene. And it gives us useful information where the laser was lit on, or where did the laser hit. So if we want to capture that position and use it to spawn our object, we can absolutely do that. So as you can see, point A is where my phone is, and wherever I'm tapping it, it's going to cast a laser point or a ray cast. And if it is able to detect an object in between, it's going to say, hey, I detected an object. So place an object there or whatever that you need to be doing. So let's go back to the editor. So what I'm going to do is go back to my AR session origin. I'm going to add a AR Raycast Manager. and I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it scripts, and this is the, I promise you, this is the only time where I'm going to be writing a script. So I'm going to create a new C# script, and I'm just going to call it I'm just going to call it simple raycast. Now very quickly, I'm just going to move fast forward a little bit. I just wrote some code that is able to detect certain objects when I am tapping on the screen. Now this is a free code that's already available on the samples page, so it's nothing new. But all I'm doing is anytime I'm tapping, as you can see, anytime I'm doing an input get mouse button down, which also works for a touch input, I'm going to be instantiating a new game object on top of my screen. So we're going to leave it at that. And if I go back to my, go back to my editor, and I just build. So I build it, and I go, and I'm not sure why that's happening. Just a second. Sorry, something went wrong on my end. Just going to reshare my screen. Yeah. Yeah, that should work. So if I go back to, so after the raycasting is done, if I go back to my phone, so it's detecting the planes, it's detecting the feature points, and as I'm tapping on the screen, you can see I have a sphere that just pops depending on where I am pointing at the screen. And this is a very useful thing, because if you want to place an object on your world based on what you have detected in the world, it's automatically able to place this object using this plane detection. So I can also place it on top of my floor and whatnot. In fact, I also just created an application where I just had an animated character. So this was a very simple sphere, but I just created an animated character, and you can also place any character that you want on top of your world using the same technology. So now, to recap, your phone was using feature points, plane detection, and raycasting. And as a combination of all of these three things, you're able to create an augmented reality application using AR Foundation and place any object that you want on your screen. Now, the third thing that we're going to be talking about today is tracking. So the goal of making tracking is to make tracking very robust. So if there are any glitches, it really breaks that immersion that you're having with augmented reality. And it is very important to have an immersive experience in augmented reality to provide a believable experience. Now we have a lot of types of tracking. There is facial tracking, image tracking, and object tracking. And I'm going to start with face tracking because it's most interesting. And then I'll get to image tracking, and then object tracking I won't go into too deep, but I'll just give a quick introduction about it. Now, all of these examples are available for free in the AR Foundation samples project, which again, like I said, I'll give you a link to that. So going back to the editor, same thing as I had earlier, which I had the AR session origin. I'm just opening up the AR core face regions, which is a free, which is available as a scene inside the application. And I'm just going to create a new build out of that particular face, AR face blend. So if I create, so this is my friend's face. So yeah, if you make a build out of that, you can just quickly even put a face on top of your application. It's just using blend shapes, and as I'm smiling or opening my mouth or blinking my eyes, it's automatically able to replace my face with an animated character, which is just mimicking exactly my face, exactly whatever I'm doing, which is doing that. It also has eye tracking. So this is my friend Marek. I just had him do a video. where depending on where you're looking, it's able to find that exact place where you're looking. And it does a lot of eye tracking also. You can do some pretty cool things like shooting lasers out of your eyes if you want to create that kind of an application and whatnot. So once you have face tracking, then we have image tracking. So how do you create an image tracking application, and what really makes a good image target is what we're going to be looking at. So in my going back to my editor, I'm just going to create a new library. I'm just going to create a reference image library, and this is an asset where I can put in all of the images that I want to be detecting using my application. So I have a whole bunch of images such as the trees, and I have this this man. I also have the starry night image, and I also have the Unity logo. So these are all the images that I want my phone to detect, and I want to place those place an object based on or after having detected these images. So I'm going back to my AR session origin. I'm going to add an image tracker script and give a reference of that images to my to that particular place. So I'm not going to go through the script. It's okay. I'm just going to give a reference of the camera. I'm just going to give a reference of the prefab that I want to be placing after I detect those images. And now if I go back to the build, if I make a build out of that, by the way, I don't have a printer, so I'm just going to use just the screenshots. As you can see, as my phone is able to detect these images, I'm just going to open that up. Just give me 1 second. So as I see that images, it's as my camera is able to detect, hey, this is an image that I should be able to recognize, and then it's just automatically placing an object on top of it. So you can see those cylinders that appear on top is literally just the prefab that is getting placed as soon as it is able to detect those objects. Now the cool thing is it's able to detect multiple images at the same time, which is a very helpful feature, because as you can see on my screen, I have all of these four different images that are existing, and I am able to detect all of those simultaneously. Now, Xcode also gives you some, so these are all the images, by the way. This is a screenshot of all the images. And you can have, one thing that you need to ensure that when you have these images that you're going to be detecting is, it should be pretty distinct. If you have a plain white image or a plain colored image, it will not be able to detect it at all. But if you have a lot of images with feature points, as you can see, this looks very distinct. This looks very distinct. This image looks very distinct, and Unity logo is also very distinct. It's able to detect that much appropriately. This is an example. So one of the things that you need to, when you're creating an image tracking application, is you need to enter the accurate size or the physical size of the app or the image that you're going to be detecting. If you're getting any warnings on Xcode, if you're deploying to iOS, make sure that you're heeding to those warnings. It's always good to use images that are on flat and sturdy surfaces. It's always better to avoid glossy surfaces, because if there's reflections that is going to be there, then your phone is going to have a hard time detecting those. And it's best to always have a high contrast image with a lot of features, so that your number of feature points that are available inside your application is easy, or it's easily able to detect them. And you also should aim for uniformly distributed features, so that your phone is able to detect them more accurately and a lot faster. The last part, which I'm not going to go through more in depth, is object tracking. Now, this is very similar to image target, and you can, but this only works on iPhone or iPad, and it only works on iOS devices only. You can, essentially, the idea is you can detect any kind of three-dimensional object also. So these are all some stuff that I had at home. This is a mug, sorry, a jug, and this is a toy buzz I had, and this is a cookie jar. This is a coffee can or coffee tin. This is an image or an object, which is a pineapple. This is a wine bottle, and then I also have a garden water can. So when I look at this, the concept is very similar to image tracking in that anything that is very distinct looking, like this bus or the cookie jar or even a pineapple, it is able to detect that a lot faster and more accurately. Even the water can, even though it has a glossy surface, it has a very distinct contour. It has a very distinct silhouette. So it's able to detect that a lot faster. Whereas anything that has a shiny surface like this wine bottle, it's unable to detect that because it's very plain and it's very shiny. So tips for you to have object recognition using augmented reality is to scan your object in a uniformly lit space. You're able to choose your object with a lot of features on the surface. Better to avoid reflective surfaces. Don't use any kind of soft objects or objects that can change shape, like a plastic bag, for example. And any object that is asymmetrical, like has a distinct silhouette to it, is very promising. And when you're feeding the objects to be detected, it's always good to scan them on surfaces which has very little features on top of them. So the final thing that I'm going to be talking about is visual quality. How do you make sure that the object that you're augmenting on top of your world looks as if it belongs to the real world? And a lot of things such as light estimation, environment probes, plane occlusion, and player guiding, a UI, are all very important. So let's start with light estimation, because this is a feature that will make your application more believable and nice. Now, light estimation is one of the first features that came out in ARKit and ARCore. Sorry, I'll just go back. So this particular video that you're seeing here comes from a promotional material for ARCore, and you can see that the main light, that's the light that the character is reacting to, it is changing in the light as the lighting in the real world is changing. The first version of light estimation was using a simple average of all the pixels, but now light estimation is much more sophisticated and can even add the direction of your light. It can do spherical harmonics and a lot more. So once again, this is an example from the AR samples project, where I'm just using the AR session origin, and I'm just deploying that application on my phone. So this particular application is able to do a lot of things. Sorry, once again, my PowerPoint kind of hung up. Not sure why that's happening. So you can see that as I'm moving my camera around, this 3D arrow that you're seeing here is showing me where the main light is coming from. So if you're outside, it's telling me where the main source of light is coming from. So it's able to detect all of that. It's able to even figure out the intensity of the light. It's also, so as I switch the lights on and off, it's also able to detect that, for example. Then we get to environment probes. Now, environment probes are very similar to reflection probes in that it just collects images from the camera to generate a cube map. I'll show you what it looks like really. So you can see there is very reflective spheres. Now this sphere is reflecting what is in my room. So it's able to accurately place that environment probes. It's able to find all of the objects around the room, and it is able to show that reflection on top of this particular sphere. So it's a lot more immersive and a lot more believable when you're seeing the spheres. There's also a problem with called plane occlusion. Now, plane occlusion is a feature that allows you to occlude objects behind other planes. So let me show you what I mean by that, right? So this is a problem where I have augmented this particular cube, and I also augmented this particular plane. Now it's having trouble detecting what is up front or what is behind. So it's unable to detect that. And since our planes are also semi-transparent, this is a very difficult task. So fortunately, we provide a shader for you. And again, it's part of the AR Foundation sample project. So if I go to my samples project, I just open up the plane detection. I'll just open up the plane occlusion. So it has occlusion material, which is the free shader that's available. And as I deploy this application, you can see that now it's able to detect what is under the table and what is also above the table. So it's able to find that accurately. And this is a pretty big thing whenever you want to have any kind of immersive experience. There's also the universal render pipeline, which is part of Unity's render engine that allows you to have extremely high performance on mobile devices. That is also supported. So you can have pretty lightweight applications or even heavyweight applications running using the universal render pipeline. And we also have an onboarding UI, which is an instructional UI that allows for your new users, so users who are not used to using an augmented reality application, were able to add goals to your application, and after completing each goal, the manager script is going to be moving forward to the next element in the queue. So for example, if I'm a new user of augmented reality, you need to tell the user that you need to move the phone around. So you need to move the phone around to find a plane. Then you also need to instruct the user to tap on the screen to place a virtual object. So first instruction is this, then once that's done, it then moves on to the next goal, which is tap the screen to place a virtual object. And once that's done, it moves away. So this is an example of that. So if they say move your device slowly, it's able to detect the feature points. Then you're able to tap and place the augmented reality applications or augmented reality 3D objects on top of your screen. All of this is available for free in the asset store as AR Foundation demos onboarding UX. So that's pretty much it. In fact, you could, like I said earlier, you can download all of these samples that I just showed you from the GitHub page, which is github.com/unity-technologies. Go to AR Foundation samples. You can also get all of these demos for free in the GitHub page, as mentioned here, and you can deploy this application. Now, I'm very aware that I went a little advanced than what I was supposed to do today, but I did that on purpose because just showing you applications and showing you the usefulness of augmented reality has been done over and over again. A lot of people have shown that. But how do you actually create an augmented reality application is what is required today. And while a lot of these things might have gone above your head for some people, I think it's okay. Because now when you open up the Unity editor, I think you might be able to find things that are a little more familiar than looking at it from scratch. You could also do a lot of interesting things with this. Now, I used machine learning to tell my camera what am I detecting. So I place my wallet, it's able to detect that, hey, I placed a wallet. If I place a coffee mug, it's able to tell, hey, this is a coffee mug that I have placed. So it's using machine learning to detect exactly what is it that I'm looking at. Now, this is extremely useful if you have like autonomous cars, for example, that is using augmented reality, using LiDAR scanners to detect what is happening on the screen or what is happening on the road. Or their pedestrians, or their cyclists, or their motorcyclists, or their cows, or their buffaloes. It's able to use machine learning to figure all of that. Now, this is a little advanced. I'm not going to go into that, but you can also use that for sure. So with that, I will stop. I will stop for any questions that you might have about creating augmented reality applications or any kind of doubts that you might have about augmented reality itself. Thank you so much.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, this is Deepak Mahajan. May I ask one question?
Yes, please.
Sir, kindly tell us what are the basic hardware requirements that we need when we want to use this Unity and all. And second question is, in institutes or educational institutes mostly, do we have any plan which is available for the free edition kind of thing of Unity, or does Unity have anything for the educational institutes, any package or something like that?
Yes. So to answer your first question, the Unity editor is quite. You just need a GPU. So, for example, if you have a NVIDIA GTX 1060 or 1070, that will be great. In fact, even a lower version is totally fine. And usually the rule of thumb that I have is, if your computer can run Maya, for example, it'll be okay to run Unity editor. In fact, even a lesser configuration will be okay to run the Unity editor. To answer your second question, Unity's educational licenses are free. So you can, for all educational institutes, you can get free licenses. One of our, in fact, if you need education licenses, you can definitely get in touch with me and I can provide you with those also. We also have Unity Learn Premium, which I don't have a link to here, but we also have Unity Learn Premium, which is a, let me show you that. Unity Learn Premium is a set of free courses that's available for you for educational institutes or for anyone who wants to learn Unity, and it's available at no cost. And there is literally hundreds and hundreds of tutorials, and a lot of tutorials also based on augmented reality, for example, where you can learn on how to use Unity and creating augmented reality applications with that also. Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Is there any more questions?
Sir, this is Professor Anjit. Sir, actually, I have a question regarding this AR deployment. Is it possible through cloud, sir? That means we our process and other things over the cloud. We could run. Is it possible, sir?
Yes, you can. So Unity has something called Unity Cloud Build, and you're able to essentially build your application on the cloud. And you can deploy it as an APK and distribute it to how many ever people that you want. If it is an APK, if it is iOS, then you of course need to go through the test flight process in order to distribute that for testing purposes. But yeah, you can use the Unity Cloud Build to build your application if that's what you're asking for. Yeah.
For the classroom demonstration, apart from your free course tutorials, and is there any other provision for that, sir? For classroom demonstration, I want to give the real-time demo to all the students' mobile phone.
Well, you want to deploy?
I want to give the feel to them because they have some more than 7 Android 7 means. Is it possible to run a single application over cloud to all the mobile phone?
Oh, an augmented reality application that is running via the cloud. Well, you still need a phone. You cannot do that. Not yet. That is in the realm of web AR, where you can essentially use the browser to have an augmented reality application. That is not yet supported by Unity as of today, but we are definitely working on that. But as of today, you still need to deploy or have your students install the application on their phones for them to see it.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Divya, and I have a question that is, will Unity works on laptop with 4 GB RAM?
Yes, it will. But you definitely need so the RAM is important for sure, but you also need a graphics card. Without a graphics card, your Unity editor will not work. So something like an NVIDIA graphics card would definitely help. Yeah.
Okay, sir, because I have heard like for 4 GB RAM, the system will hang in between. That's why I asked.
Well, it really depends. See, it really depends on the kind of application that you're running. Unity is becoming better and better at the performance. 4 GB of RAM is enough. I don't think it will be a problem if you're running at 4 GB RAM. But like I said, your graphics card power is also very important. So you need to have a good graphics card capability and also a good CPU in order to run, to have a good experience at least.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, any app?
Hello, sir. Sir, hello, Rohit.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, how many? Which are the programming language we can use for this?
For programming language used in Unity is C#. We also acquired a new company called Bolt that lets you create coding applications without actually writing code. So it's a node-based editor. So it looks something like this. So you can have visual scripting using Unity, But if you're not using visual scripting and if you're familiar with programming, you can use C#. But if you're not familiar with programming and would rather do node-based programming, you can also use Bolt, which is available for free within Unity.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Sir, myself, Rutuja Kulkarni. Sir, I want to ask you any built-in app we can use for the augmented reality means to demonstrate. Consider I want to demonstrate my student 3D rotation about an axis.
So in the AR Foundation samples repository, if you go to github.com and get this repository, it's free. You just have to build the application. That's it. And there's about 24 samples, including rotation and whatnot, in that samples project. So I would recommend that you take a look at that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, is there any possibility for collaboration with academic and this kind of training phase, sir? That means this institution.
Absolutely. I do that all the time. We do that all the time where if you need like training or if you need some kind of course material or even if you need like certification, we can absolutely do that for sure. Yeah.
Apart from that, is it possible for physical training, sir, over the campus?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Sir, if possible, please share your contact, sir, mail or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure,
So
sir,
this is
sure.
my email ID, Sarvind@unity.com. So
Okay,
you
okay.
absolutely email me if you have any questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, I would like to ask a question.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sir, can AR where can be used for demonstrating the working of algorithms? Like we use animations to demonstrate the working of algorithms, or to give the better experience of yoga poses. Can it be used?
Yeah, absolutely. So iOS or ARKit specifically is able to also detect body movements. Like it's able to detect like whether if you're doing like if you want to say check for yoga asanas, for example, you can absolutely do that with ARKit, which is built and using AR Foundation on top of it. Yeah, you can do that.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Sir, actually, for the training purpose, suppose we are building the AR laboratory in our college itself, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you support? What are all the requirements for that one, sir? Maybe a basic level. You want to establish the laboratory to demonstrate the same, sir.
Well, what would you need? Well, see, if you're talking specifically about augmented reality, there are a number of ways in which you can look at augmented reality. You can deploy it on a phone. You can also deploy it on HoloLens. You can deploy it on a Windows mixed reality headset. You can deploy it on a Magic Leap. So depending on the kind of scale that you're looking at, the kind of expertise that you're looking at inside your lab, I would say you'd need a few phones, a HoloLens or a Magic Leap or a Windows mixed reality headset, depending on how you want to look at augmented reality. And for development purposes, you just need Unity Editor. That's it. A few computers that can fundamentally run the Unity Editor, and you should be good to go. That's it. That's all you need.
Fine, sir. Fine. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And we can talk about this in more detail if you want to. You can just maybe drop me an email. I could help you figure out exactly how a state-of-the-art augmented reality lab should look like. If you want to do that, I'll be more than happy to help you. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
Sir, one more question. Is Maya software required or we can do the applications with the Unity alone?
You don't need Maya. Maya is purely to create 3D objects, like 3D content. Like if you're creating let's say you want to augment a Taj Mahal, for example, and if you want to model the Taj Mahal, then you need Maya.
Okay, sir.
But you can also use the Unity application to Unity Asset Store in order to download existing 3D assets which we can do. So we can get away without using Maya also.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, in robotics, we use that AR VR technique for Industry 4 application.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
But no, by using that AR VR in robotics, how we can implement that Industry 4, the implement IoT and other things? Because people are saying that AR VR are going to be an integral part of Industry 4 technology. How it can be integrated with robotics and other aspects of industry?
Yeah, actually, in industrial applications, augmented reality is used across the entire life cycle of the product, starting from design to engineering and even for sales and marketing and field engineering. So, for example, let me give you a few examples. So, for designing, you are going to be using augmented reality to visualize how you are going to be designing a particular object. So, for example, I showed you an example early on where in a construction site, let's say you're creating an industry floor. How do you make sure that the operations of all of the machinery that you're going to be having is going to be appropriately placed in your design floor or in your factory floor? That's one example during design. During engineering purposes, you also have applications where collaborative review of your design can be done across multiple locations. Again, using virtual reality and augmented reality. And during field engineering and maintenance, let's say there's a brand, remote assistance is a big thing, where if you have a new engineer who's looking at a particular model and does not know how to repair it, you can have people sitting, the experts sitting remotely, and they're able to visualize or see what the engineer is looking at and is able to provide instructions on how to fix a particular problem. So there is augmented reality and virtual reality, as rightly said, is an integral part of Industry 4.0, and there are plenty of examples of that being used across the product lifecycle.
Can it be automated without having any human
sir. I want how
can
AR
it
can be
be
used for
automated?
electronics communication engineering subjects.
I'm sorry, there are two people talking at the same time. I was unable to hear both of you. Can
Yeah. So
This is Can I talk?
yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Can it be automated without having any human interface? This AR technology, can it be automated and pre-programmed without having any human interface for all these applications?
So I don't think I understood the question. You said can what be automated? I'm not sure what needs to be automated.
AR VR usage can be automated without having any human interface. Automatically, it has to be. The system has to capture that the requirement of AR VR requirement, and the function of AR VR has to be automatically featured in the device, and it has to be whatever that the feature extraction has to be automatically done, and it has to be what is the process for getting a meaningful insight. Is it possible?
Absolutely. Absolutely. As I showed earlier in this particular machine learning example, see here what's happening is the video I took, it's able to automatically detect what am I looking at. So it's able to say, hey, this is a wallet. This is a cup of tea. And it's able to detect with pretty good accuracy about what am I looking at. So if you're looking at automatically or having your augmented reality application automate exactly what it is going to be looking at and even make intelligent decisions about what it has looked at, you can absolutely do that too, for sure.
Sir, I want to know about the AR applications for electronics communication engineering subjects for teaching the students.
That's a pretty broad theme. Is there like anything specific that you have in mind? What is it exactly that you think would be helpful in teaching using augmented reality?
Sir, like I want to say explain electromagnetics, so field distribution, inside a say microwave component. So can I use this AR, or is there any application of AR in that field, teaching microwave engineering or antenna engineering like that?
Absolutely. So this is an example, right? So I showed you earlier. So for example, imagine what you're looking at here is a circuit board, and you want to show them how the circuit board is functioning, because most of that is just electronic. They're unable to visualize it. But using augmented reality, you can show your students exactly how the circuit board is functioning, how let's say the flow of energy or the flow of electrons are happening. You could do it's all up to your imagination. You could do a whole bunch of things with this for sure.
Sir, is there any ready tutorials for that, or we need to like prepare first these applications before teaching? So is there any source of getting these tutorials?
So I would say
for particular subjective.
There are a couple of things, right? The best place to start would be go to the AR Foundation samples project, and you have all of the you have, like I said, 24 examples of demonstrations that you can possibly extend in order to use it. If you're brand new to this, then you could always go to Unity Learn Premium. And in Unity Learn Premium, you have, if I just search within there, if I go to resources, and I can search within that. Just give me 1 second, it's just taking a bit of time. So if I say augmented reality, so you have a whole bunch of courses starting from setting up AR Foundation, configuring Unity for AR development, optimizing your VR AR applications, creating marketing applications, or even using AR photography with Unity application. And there's a whole bunch of topics in there. So you could learn how to extend your the AR Foundation samples project, for example, and use that. You also have an example of remote assistant, a training course on training applications and remote assistance. If you want to be creating that, there's a 14-hour course available for free, and you can use that also to teach your students.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
One more question. Is that the AR VR tools are available in cloud infrastructure as either as a SaaS or PaaS?
I'm not sure what do you mean by that. So if you want to build AR applications, you can use the Unity Cloud for that. I don't know, but I don't know if that's what you're looking at.
Whether these AR VR applications are available over cloud as a software as service or a platform as service kind of thing?
That is up to you to build it. If you want to build a software as a service using augmented reality, where you are continuously updating your software on the go, or continuously updating an app on the go, you have to build it. But out of the box solution, in fact, let me rephrase that. There are a few companies such as PlugXR, for example. So PlugXR is a company that does, in fact, it's based in Hyderabad, where they create these very easy to use cloud-based augmented reality platform. And they have a very nice editor, which is a browser-based editor where you can create augmented reality applications with just a few clicks of a button. And you're able to deploy it to wherever that you want. Now, but this is, of course, a paid subscription to create those applications, but such a thing exists for sure. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Sir, also how we can integrate this machine learning to AR and VR?
Okay, so that's a pretty big topic. If you can maybe email me, I can send you some documentation or some links that show you how to do that, because that itself is, I can talk about that for like another 2 hours. So you can email me at unitytraining.com, and I'll send you. I can send you instructions on how to integrate machine learning with augmented reality.
Okay. Okay. Sir.
But the bottom line is, it's possible. Like I said, like I showed you with this video earlier, This is using machine learning, right? This example is using machine learning and is able to detect what exactly it's looking at. So you can do the same thing. You can do that. Just as a quick teaser, Unity has the ability to bridge between TensorFlow and Barracuda. And so you're able, if you're familiar with TensorFlow or Barracuda, you can pretty much create any kind of machine learning brain, and it's able to then learn based on what it is looking at. So it's a computer vision and already solved for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So if there's any more questions, please feel free to ask me. But if you can maybe think of questions later on, don't worry. Always feel free to email me at arvind@unity3d.com. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have, or even collaborate with any kind of projects that you might want to have, or if you want to have like any kind of training for courseware or certifications that you want, you can absolutely reach out to me for any of those things. I'd be more than happy to help out. All right. Looks like there are no more questions, so I'll stop sharing my screen. I'd like to thank VNRJIT for inviting me for this webinar. Thank you so much. I think it's absolute pleasure, and I was very encouraged by a lot of these questions that came out, and that clearly means that there's a lot of interest with augmented reality. So as I mentioned earlier, if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of the week.
Yeah, thank you, Aravind. Thank you for the wonderful session. I request all the participants, we'll have a lunch break now, and we'll join back at 2:10 p.m. The next session starts at 2:10 p.m. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Aravind.
Radhika madam, what will be the content for the next session? Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, what will be the content for the next session, madam?
Yeah, I'll share you. Please follow these instructions. So 1:20 p.m. to 2:10 p.m. Attendance will be taken at 1 p.m. for the morning session and 3:15 p.m. for the afternoon session. And please maintain 80% of attendance and 60% of marks in the test conducted on the last day to get certificate.
Yeah, this is fine. What I was asking is what will be the content for the next session?
Yeah, content, 1 second. This is the content for the afternoon session, and he is the speaker.
Okay, madam. Thank you. Thank you. Will these things be shared to us, madam?
Yep. Yeah, at 2:10 we'll join. Thank you.